We live,
Yes, sir.
episode 14. Sometimes I'm always right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, anybody or anything with an ear or two that is listening right now. You are in tune to the show, the extravaganza, the podcast. Sometimes I'm always right. Let's get it.
Hey, let's go. I'm doing a little camera adjusting here. Fine tuning. All right. So college football. Big week
College
here.
football. Interesting day yesterday.
Hell yeah. A lot of statement games. We got a big Penn State loss against U of I.
Yep. Almost had a monumental loss for Oklahoma against Kansas.
That was bad.
Ooh, that would have been terrible. They came
really,
back second half, stayed alive. Now they hope for the playoffs still alive. But I don't even think they should get in based on that game.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that a lot yesterday. Unfortunately, I'm like, I got so much. I was hoping Alabama lost, even though I had some money riding on Alabama. I have a hatred for Alabama. But watching, like them play like that against Kansas, it's like, why do we even need to get them a seat at the table? Like, I don't want to jump into my next point of the next game, but yeah, it was just a bad game performance overall. They haven't really showed that they even deserve to be in this game in the playoffs this year. So I'm hoping that they catch an L that they can come back from. They almost caught one in Kansas. Unfortunately, we weren't so lucky.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna survive the Big 12 championship. I think whoever they play, I don't know how the sides work or whatever, because you got Oklahoma State, you got Iowa State pretty good. So I don't know who on the East or West or however it is, but I think they lose the championship game because they keep squeaking by every week. They get a close win. But when you play better competition, they're starting off slow. Did they score in the first half yesterday? I don't think they scored.
I don't think they did. It might have been 10-0 or something going to half.
Yeah. That ain't gonna cut it against a good team. So I mean, they keep getting lucky and squeaking by, but that ain't gonna keep happening. So
I mean, realistically, that conference don't got a lot of good teams anyway. So and yeah, once they do this conference realignment stuff, that conference will be almost non. I know they got some people coming in, but I mean, and I do think that the recruitment will change once they, this will be the next year will be the second year in this what do they call that? The new thing where the athletes get paid, whatever they call it.
Yeah, I forgot the name.
Yeah, whatever it is. But yeah, the fact that the athletes can get money, I mean, now these players won't be forced to go to these other locations, just to hope that they get something, out of it. Like, I mean, Alabama, these big power conferences, Big 12 is good still, at least getting people push up to the league. But really, the SEC really be churning out all the athletes, and the Big Ten too. I'll still say the Big Ten is up there. But yeah, I think you'll see a lot more spread and competition in the near future. Maybe the next two. It might take a little while, like 2-3 years though. But
it's called the NIL.
NIL. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm using my phone as a camera today because last weekend my quality looked like I was filming it with a potato. I can't have bro beating me with a Samsung. Now I feel like we're on the same level right now. So yeah, that game. You had the Cincinnati Navy game. That was so upsetting, and not just because I lost money, but I like to root for underdogs. So when I see mid majors and smaller schools, make it up there and get to the point where they could actually be in the playoffs, it's already rigged anyway. So you got to win out and you got to win decisively. So the fact that they struggled so bad against Navy, it was kind of upsetting overall.
Yeah. And plus, they know they can't afford a loss. Like
they can't.
It might be some one-loss Power 5 team get in, but Cincinnati lose, you're out of there. You're not getting there.
Sure.
So you better be careful. not to step on one of them landmines going forward, because it's over with. If you lose the game, you're done.
You know, they say like hangover games, wake up games. I think this is a wake up game because playing a team like Navy, they only win was against the FCS team. So I do not foresee them having this kind of effect moving forward. I think that's gonna wake them up. I mean, like we watched them like drop 35 in a quarter like 2 weeks before that. So I'm like, oh yeah, 28 spread, they can do it. It's Navy.
Yeah. They usually had their way with the lesser teams. I think last week they won like 52-6 or something like that.
Yeah.
But like I say, if they slip up and you get a loss, it's over with. Your whole season done. So better come with it.
And I feel like they got a good team. So moving forward, I think if they actually get a chance and they win out and they make it, I feel like they can be competitive. I mean, they probably won't win the championship, but I think they got a chance at the semifinals, especially if they end up with Oklahoma.
Oh yeah. And then you got well, we know the SEC champion is going to always be there. So whoever wins between it's going to be Bama and Georgia. Whoever win that game is going. And I think if Georgia lose to Bama, they'll still go. You know,
No doubt.
because you lose to a top 5 team in a conference championship, and it's going to be other one-loss teams. But if that's my only losses to Alabama in the championship game, then they gonna go.
Yeah, now if Bama loses, it's no guarantee that they even sniff it. They probably now I don't know. You know, it's been pretty weird with the selection committee, but I do believe that if Bama I don't want to, I like being right, so I don't want to really stick my foot solidly on that ground right now. But I think that a 2-loss Bama team losing against Georgia in the championship, I hate when we like 1 year back in the day when it was like, back in the day, like 18 years ago, when it was like we beat them and then they beat us in the SEC championship, and then we had to play them again in the well, not the playoffs, but the national championship. I don't like seeing that. Like I don't want to see a team lose to a team already, not even win their conference, and then still make a chance, have a chance in the playoff system. So I'm glad they got rid of BCS. I think they need to expand this a little bit more because we want to see more talent in these big games. It'll help the students and the athletes well. So
I think if they expand to 8 teams, that'll be pretty good. Yeah. Top 8 instead of the Final 4, get the Final 8. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind a playoff. I mean, I wouldn't play-in game, some kind of like, and I wouldn't mind seeing either like a play-in, like eight team playoff system, and then like maybe like you take all of the major conferences. Let's say it's 5. Take 1 from each. They give you 5, and then maybe doing like 2 more of the mid-major conferences, and then like do a play-in game. Because sometimes you'll see a team go undefeated, and they may be a good team. I mean, obviously they probably wouldn't fare well in the playoff system, but to go undefeated and to be producing, like a lot of times these teams that are like just below mid-major or at mid-major level, they don't really get that kind of attention. So like, but I feel like styles make fights, just like boxing and stuff. So sometimes you may have this team, they may catch somebody with just a horrible pass defense, and they may be able to play, undersized and stuff. I mean, you see this all the time. Like I don't even know, Illinois back in the day, they made a push for the rest of it with BCS system. But I really want to see more. We want to see more new blood anyway, and we definitely want to see teams make it who haven't been afforded the opportunity before. It get boring when we see the same teams over and over and over and over. And because these teams churn out these pro athletes, we'll never really see. I don't think we'll ever really see a fair system or a system that just really promotes more like I don't want to use the word it has more equity. I'll say that. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how this plays out. I don't really have anything else on. Well, we didn't discuss Bama.
Bama? Yeah,
we can keep it brief, but
yeah, I had them on my bet yesterday to win by 24. They almost pissed me off. They was going back and forth with Tennessee, and we all know Tennessee is not of Bama's caliber, but they got it together in the second half. They looked like Alabama, and they pulled it out. I think Bama, they definitely a top 4 team, but like I say, if they with already that one loss to an unranked Texas A&M team, if you lose to Georgia and the SEC championship, you're rolling the dice. You might not get in that Final Four.
You shouldn't get that Final Four. I know playoff committee ain't gonna ever watch this, but
especially because Nick Saban said a conference champion should not be in the Final Four until he didn't make it, and then he got in. He was all for it then. Yeah. So.
But yeah, so I did. That game was definitely crazy. I expected more out of Bama. They also almost messed up. I was like, my parlays, but it turned out to be, I guess, a competitive game. It's good when you see that competitiveness, but it's like sometimes you watch these games and you see these teams, you know these teams, so to see them it's like they almost like Alabama losing this identity too. The defense is falling off. That's what they're known for. Like we never, Bama's always been really average quarterbacks. Great defense, strong running game. But since they've had more skilled players and had more of a fancy offense, whatever you want to call it, you've noticed the shift. Like, not saying that they're not, I'm sure they're still recruiting top tier athletes that can play in any program as far as defense goes. I don't know if it's a scheme or what it is, but the defense seems like it's continued to take steps down in the most recent years.
Yeah, they front 7 is still pretty good, but they back in them corners and safeties. Yeah. They give a big plays all the time. And that Saban thing, he goes to DBs. It's like, are you missing on the talent on the DBs, or you ain't coaching the right or something going on?
Yeah, it's a weird scenario. You watch them shut out Ole Miss, and then who could definitely score points in bunches, and then they struggle with Tennessee. That not saying Tennessee offense is okay, but it's not Ole Miss. I mean, maybe it's the whole Saban's former assistant thing, but yeah. But who else we got on the slate? Any more notable games?
I gotta say this. The news came down this week that LSU and Coach Orgeron, Coach O, will not be coming back next year. I'm kind of torn about it because Coach O, everybody like Coach O, man. He a player's coach. The players love him, but he got in a little trouble, a little off the field trouble. And since we won the championship 2 years ago, we are, I think, 10-9. So that's just not gonna cut it at LSU. I mean, I'm sure he kind of understand, but I would like to see him get one more year. But business is business. So I want to give a shout out to Coach O. Coach O, we love you, man. We appreciate it. Appreciate the national championship. Appreciate all the good quotes, and go Tigers.
Yeah, the news was definitely expected to me. It's funny though, because in every article, I mean we lost Burrows, we lost our offensive coordinator. They made Burrows. I think Burrows definitely had talent. We saw that the first year that he came from Ohio State. The second year he actually showed it, but Joe Brady was the reason for that. He went to the NFL to become offensive coordinator. So hopefully we can get Joe Brady back to be the head coach at LSU.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't been too pleased with the except for Penn State head coach, which I don't think he's gonna leave, but I saw that him being on the short list. But I'm not too fond of the other choices I saw. But Coach O, man, I was reading articles when all this stuff was going on the last couple of weeks, and they were talking about it being everything, no matter what, it was like, oh, the record, this, they mentioned all the metrics that matter or why you would fire someone. And then it's like, boom, a screenshot, like a Twitter pic or something, him and some 25-year-old a chick or something, got him in the bed and stuff. I mean, you said he's a player's coach. He's also a player. Coach O was getting the ladies.
Yeah.
But
and it also came out that he didn't report some sexual misconduct at LSU that was going on. So,
yeah,
that's
which I don't agree with. Yeah, you definitely can't be doing that. But I mean, he vehemently denies it. So I guess we'll see. I don't know if they're gonna pursue anything in regards to that. But yeah, I did read that in one of the articles too.
Yeah, but with the separation that's coming, they owe Coach O $17 million. So I'm sure he's not too upset about going on vacation and chilling out, spending a little money.
Yeah. Who would be 17 mil?
Right.
Yeah, that's a great parting gift.
Yeah, I'll leave, but make sure that direct deposit hit before I get up out of here. Yeah.
But it's long overdue. We've also had briefly don't want to hang on the LSU thing, but coach wise, it's been a rough stretch. I mean, he was the interim coach that ended up being, we kept him on, but we haven't had a good stretch of coaches. I want Joe Brady back, or somebody with just an offensive mind. Like, we can continue to recruit the way we always recruit, but we need somebody who's gonna spice it up a little bit. Joe Brady made Orgeron spicy. He made Orgeron keep his job. That's really what, because you saw the potential the first year with Burrows, but going with a new quarterback and such a young guy and new coordinators and changing the system for everybody else. And then receivers opt out early last year. I mean, last year COVID happened, so I'm hoping we start with a fresh slate this upcoming year. We still hit the recruiting like we should. We got some players that should be coming back that didn't get to play this season, so hopefully we turn that around next year.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we should rebound pretty quick. We always get the talent. Just getting the right coach in to take the talent to the next level. Hopefully we hit on this next coach and we'll be back in the championship pretty soon.
All right. So other than ruining our, you got lucky. Other than ruining my parlays this weekend, I don't really care to talk about college football anymore. So let's move on to the early slate of games.
Won a little money last night. Appreciate
it. Let me hold some, bro. Let me hold some. So pushing into the NFL, Kansas City. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Before we talk about the game, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Well, knowing what happened today, will they make the playoffs?
I'm gonna say no.
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna agree with you.
City does not make the playoffs. They will not win the division. They will not be a wild card. They will be sitting at home and trying to figure out what the hell went wrong this year, because they are looking very average right now.
I disagree. Not with the fact that they're not gonna make the playoffs. They won't. But they're not gonna be sitting at home figuring out what went wrong. They already know what went wrong. That line is horrible. Pat Mahomes is running for his life. They paid him $500 million, and now they're gonna have to figure out how they're gonna restructure that deal. They gotta hope that he's gonna be able to be like, hey, yeah, I'll give y'all some of this money back to go get some offensive linemen, because that line is horrible. That defense sucks. I mean, Sorensen, like, I seen the meme. It was like a picture of Honey Badger. It's like every time it got screenshots. It was like 6 of them was Sorensen was blowing plays, and then Honey Badger throwing his hands out, looking like, what the, and I'm just like, every game that I watched, I was like, man, I didn't really key in on this one. I was watching all the other games, metrics. When I don't like to gamble and then watch everything live. I like to watch something I'm not really paying attention to, or that don't matter. But yeah, I don't see them making playoffs. But that was a bad performance today, for him too. So I mean, he does have some ownership in this. I don't feel like the black quarterback thing. And although he is a black quarterback, his style is a little bit different. He's more of a gunslinger. I don't want to hyperfixate on the issue, or make it into a major thing. I mean, he's still a black quarterback. Maybe not style wise, but you're a black guy. mix, whatever you want to call him. I don't know what he personally identifies as, but I just got to say that for all of the cancelers. But Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. But when you look at his style and with this offensively, he got Andy Reid, great mind, and they definitely have a great offense. Defense is lacking. It doesn't look like a good situation moving forward without. I mean, for any of them, like for anybody involved, like I don't see him being able to rebound from this. He was so high so early. He was never we got to see how he deal with the criticism too, because Lamar Jackson has been told he should be a receiver since he stepped in the league. All these guys like this, they get it from them. They got you with that tough skin. Like, can he deal with that criticism? I think he may be able to. Will it be challenging? I think it will. And also we have to see what kind of franchise moves they make. But I just see that being the biggest factor being, can he handle the difficulties and criticism? If they don't make the playoffs, he continues to have a bad season. And then people start to hyper focus on him because he doesn't normally receive those criticisms. Because I've seen it, they kind of talk about it a little bit in the media. They don't really really harp on it. But Lamar Jackson gets fault. Jalen Hurts got, nobody, they was talking about him from the get-go. You know what it is. It's a pattern. And you never saw that with Pat Mahomes. But now that they aren't performing, will he now be a black quarterback? Per the media.
Yeah. I mean, see, with him now, he's just taking so many chances, I think, because he know his defense can't hold up. And he throwing a lot of interceptions that, like, come on, man, you can't keep taking these chances. But like I say, he probably doing it like, man, I know my defense ain't going to hold up, so I got to try to throw this ball over here, try to fit it in. I got to try to get a first down. Like, because my defense gonna give up 35, so I'm gonna have to score 40 plus to win. So he's taking chances that maybe he shouldn't take or normally take. But yeah, it don't matter if you're doing it because of the defense, but it's gonna come back to you. Like, oh, he threw 3 interceptions. And then I just saw before I came downstairs, they helped him off the field. He got hurt. I hope it ain't too serious, but I didn't see exactly what it was.
I didn't watch the end. I was looking at the stats on the thing, and I was just like, man. I at least because I actually bet the over on that game, so I wanted it. I figured they would lose, but I wanted to at least be competitive. So that messed up my over because they only scored 3 points. So Mahomes didn't get into the end zone. It was bad. It was bad. I mean, literally, Tennessee only had to play one half of football.
Yeah, I also made a bet last night. Thought it was pretty sure. Each team will score 1 touchdown and 1 field goal in each half. I thought that was like spilling money, but the first half the Chiefs had 3 points, so they didn't score.
Never tried that. I'm gonna try that next time.
That was I thought that was like crazy. The surest bet of my life. Like,
what were the odds on that? Was it? I mean,
it was plus 1,200. I put 100 to win 1,200, but.
Wow.
Yeah. I took 1 touchdown, 1 field goal in 2 quarters for both teams. I said, I'm like, plus 1,200. I'm jumping on this.
I would have thought that was too. I was like, yeah, that's definitely still the money. And that's why I bet the over. I'm like, regardless. I was worried about Tennessee not being able to score points, but last week against Buffalo, I'm like, nah, it's good. They good now. So I'm like, it's gonna definitely be back and forth. I think I bet Tennessee to cover the spread, but I felt like it would be a competitive game and KC might win. But I really thought Tennessee was gonna win, but I didn't want to bet against KC, knowing they've been coming off these bad games, knowing that they got a rebound. It's like a sympathy bet.
Yeah.
But yeah. So oh man, I just checked the TV. 7-0. Tampa Bay just scored. Fournette got a touchdown.
It's still early,
It's still early. But so we got who else? The Giants. The Giants play the
Panthers.
Yeah, 2 forgettable teams right now, but the Panthers without McCaffrey, and then it's the Giants in general. Hold on 1 second. I'm having some kind of issues here.
Yeah, you disappeared.
Hold on, I'm about to be. Go ahead and carry on. Keep discussing the upcoming games and the games from earlier and the Panthers game. My phone ringing, but cut my camera off. All right, back. Am I muted still?
Nah, you good.
Okay, I didn't hit nothing on your end. I was I muted. So yeah, so I mean, I don't even really want to talk about the Panthers Giants game. I don't think either one of them really matter in terms of that division because Cowboys are going to win it. The Panthers division, I guess it's really a toss up. I forgot. I almost got Tampa. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Tampa's going to win that one. So yeah, two easily forgettable teams because they won't matter, and neither one of them should win a wild card. But we also had
I saw a shocker. Cincinnati was up 41-17 on the Ravens.
That was. I actually had the Bengals to cover the spread by not losing by 6.5, and then they went from being like neck and neck at 20-1 to it was 20-17, and then next time I checked it was like 41. I didn't even know it got that bad. You know, I did hate some.
The Bengals lost it. They lost a close one last week to the Packers. I think they lost by 3, but the Bengals looking pretty good this year. That boy Joe Burrow looked like he's taking the next step. LSU, and my boy Big Chase out there balling LSU. So 2 LSU players and they're getting it in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they look pretty good.
Yeah, they do look pretty good. And actually, people talk about Burrows doing this thing and Chase or whatever, but I mean, really, what is going unnoticed is the defense too. The defense has been playing well. They beat a bad Detroit team, but that's another thing that gave me confidence, a little bit of confidence in that Rams bet today against the Lions because they smacked the Lions on the top of the head. But yeah, I think the Bengals in that division. I mean, you never really know. I mean that's always like a slugfest, like knockout, drag out fight. Pittsburgh is pretty much irrelevant. So you got the Bengals, the Browns, and the Bengals. Bengals, Browns, I said Bengals, Browns, and Ravens. Wait, did I say it? Right.
Usually, these last couple of years, Lamar's won the division. He came through. I mean, this year, this game here was a big win for the Bengals because it get them the tiebreaker. If they got to play again, but this was a big division win for the Bengals, especially against the top team in the division. So you never know, the Bengals might pull it out.
Yeah, I could see them getting a wild card. I don't know about winning the division though. That's a really tough division, and I feel like that'll probably be split like evenly. It'll have to go off like margin of wins, margin of victory and stuff at the end because the Browns, the Browns are good too. So I mean, they're not playing well now, but they're still a good team. They did beat us though. and which brings us to the next game because I really want to get to the Bears talk before we miss too much of this game today. We also have who else? Well, I like when I can have my phone on the side and use that as the my little notes. But what was the other game that happened? Jets Patriots. Mac Jones and the Patriots. they gonna mess around and make the playoffs for sure. The defense is solid. They've had some underperforming games, but I think if they're not losing to like a lot of even the good teams drop some games to the bad teams, and they're not doing that. They're really not. And that game against Brady, although I think that was like more of a familial spat, you know, it was a little closer than it should have been. But I think that they have shown. Did I say Bengals? I meant Buccaneers. You know, Tom Brady went back home to New England. But yeah, I'm really interested in watching their season play out to see, you know, I mean, what if it ends up like I don't think it'll get there, but imagine it being like a Brady versus Belichick Super Bowl. That would be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
It'd be crazy because I also don't think they can make it. But just imagine how much that would be. I don't think you could sell a better Super Bowl in there. You know, sometimes storylines I feel like push things. Like you see Hurricane Katrina, the Saints, 9/11, the Patriots. Sometimes things just fall in line.
Yeah.
But and they kind of feel like this is the time because the Patriots have been like, you know. But now that they fresh off Cam, they look a little better. I'm pretty sure if any game we missed, it probably wasn't too meaningful anyway. Let's push into the next slate of games this evening. First and foremost, you know, we got our Chicago Bears. Yeah. I meant to grab my jersey. I forgot.
Yeah, the odds had Tampa Bay winning by 12.5. I definitely don't think they're gonna win by double digits. If they do win, it'll be a close one. But don't forget, those Bears took care of Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks last year, and we were worse than we were last year. We had a worse quarterback in Nick Foles, but we pulled it out. Defense came through. The defense is playing pretty good this year, so I think, like my brother said, we're down 7-0 now, but I think we'll keep it close. I'm not gonna say we're gonna win, but it'll be a close game. Late in the fourth, it'll be undecided still.
I can see that. I think we can cover the spread for sure. I don't think we'll win. The best thing is not having Matt Nagy being the main play caller now. So I think that will give us a little hope. And our defense should definitely slow them down a bit. And then, I mean, not just us, but the Buccaneers have failed to cover their spread in majority of I think 80% of the games so far this year. So I see no reason why you should be fearful of them at least covering the spread. So I do feel like that would be a good bet. But I'm just, you know, we're in another phase right now for the Bears. So it's like you know, we actually have a winning record. So it's not like we should be too doom and gloom, but I'm just not too hopeful knowing that we got this young guy who's not getting the proper management and coaching that he should, and Matt Nagy, who we thought coming from that KC system was a great play caller. He seems to not be what we thought he was.
Well, he called some good plays year one when Trubisky was there, and then we went what was 12-4 or 11-5.
I mean, our defense was on point that year too. Like it couldn't have been better.
It was getting a lot of takeaways. Eddie Jackson was playing way better than he's playing now. Since he got paid, he's been slacking pretty hard. But it's nice to see Khalil Mack having a resurgence this year. He's beating double teams, back in beast mode like he was 2 years ago. He had a kind of down year last year, but he was nicked up, a couple injuries. But him and Quinn was a bust last year for that money.
Yeah, he was.
Quinn and Khalil Mack are playing pretty good.
All right. So what's your prediction? Final score.
I'm gonna say, I think the GOAT, Tom Brady, pulls it out at the end with a field goal, and they win 24-21.
I'm gonna say 24-17 Bucks.
Okay. All right.
All right. Eagles Raiders was on. It started. It was like the middle game in between the early games and late games. I don't really know how that game's gonna go. I think Philly has been playing well. Pass defense wise is amazing. They've been struggling with the play calling. I don't like how they've been calling the plays for Hurts. But the Raiders have also been struggling. And then with that John Gruden fiasco, who knows what's going on over there now.
Yeah, I think Vegas was everybody was on in the first 3 weeks. Oh, they 3-0. Vegas, they back, but they kind of took a nosedive after that. But
and the spread actually dropped to 1 point game time.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's like a pick 'em. Like they don't know who the hell gonna win.
Who you got?
Yeah, it might be close to the end. Might be the last team got the ball, score and win. Yeah.
I'm gonna take Philly. I'll take Philly.
Okay. I think the Raiders are pulling out.
I think that pass rush and that pass defense. I mean, no way that game with Brady should have even been close either. But I mean, that was horrible play calling on the coordinator's part offensively. But that pass rush and that defense, it's pretty good. I think they probably got at least top 3. I don't know what the stats show, but they definitely got to be top 3, top 5 in pass defense at least. But Cardinals, I forget what they're playing.
Looking pretty good.
They look okay. I think the offense looks good.
Kyler Murray got to be MVP favorite at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. I'm trying to think quarterback-wise, because usually, quarterbacks are usually more favored in the MVP race. And I don't even know. I mean, I haven't been really like stat watching and stuff or whatever, but he hasn't had too many slow games. That one game, I forgot what they played, but it was the one we all both bet the spread on, and they only won 17-10. That was one of the slower ones. But he's playing amazing football, and that's another good thing to see because he was another guy that was doubted. They said he was too small. They said so many things, they said, oh, you should just go take that baseball contract, go play for the A's or whoever it was. So I'm glad to see him out there. I'll be seeing this little ass get smacked around, but he still be getting up, still be throwing that ball, and it still be just as risky. So I'm all for it. Anytime we see a guy like that, come in and able to stand on his own 2 feet with all that criticism and still play. When the last one, we haven't talked about the Cardinals since it was like the Cardinals versus Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl. So it's a good thing that they are actually, he changed that program around. And man, Cliff Kingsbury too, I give him some credit and making that decision, because what coach is going to make a decision to draft a quarterback in the first round and then get rid of him a year later? Hey, you got to know when to hold him and know when to fold him. And Cliff definitely made the right call. He got a lot of criticism. They were talking.
So he made the right call on that one. I mean, you seen Kyler Murray. He tore it up for Oklahoma in college. He was, running around, throwing the ball, scrambling, doing all that. So it was just like, can he transition to the next level? And like you said, people were saying, oh, he's too small. You can't draft a quarterback that high, being that little. But I'm like, the NFL software anyway. You can't hardly touch the quarterbacks anyway. So
that's true.
This ain't 1990. You can't come in and spear them and come and drag them and slam them to the ground because it's going to be a personal foul, 15-yard penalty. So I thought it would be pretty good. I didn't know he was going to be this good, this fast. He is tearing it up.
Yeah, he definitely accelerated pretty quickly. I was watching him, and I'm just like, that one play I sent you or whatever, I was just like, man. Or I think I watched it. You sent it to me. I was just watching this. Like his speed, his change of direction, his acceleration, how quickly he could, And then, I mean, he's so little. It does feel like I feel like I'm playing a video game because I'm a little too. I'm like 5'8", so I feel like I'm putting myself in the game. Like You make a quarterback with your real life features on the creative player mode. Like, that's how I feel when I watch Kyler Murray play. Like I feel like it's a
Bro.
creative player out there. Because this dude be out there. How did he even see over the line? They say he was like 5'11". No way he like 5'11". I think he like 5'9". but he balling. Can't argue with the results.
Yeah.
But yeah, this should be a shoe-in. They just predicted them to win by 20 over the Lions. Well, it started at like 15, 17, and now the spread is 20. I don't think they cover the 20 because they're probably pulling their starters out. And the Lions have been playing, they've been playing 50-50 ball, half decent, half, they started out the season okay, at least making it somewhat decent on the scoreboard. I do think they can cover a 20-point spread. I don't think they covered a 14 earlier spread, but it should be an interesting game.
You said who they playing?
The Lions.
No. They playing the Texans.
Oh, I got it wrong. The Lions playing the Rams. My bad.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna say that backwards.
Yeah, they both 20-point spreads basically.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. So yeah. So, but the spread is correct for that one. The who was it again?
Cardinals and the Texans.
Texans, yeah. That one I don't know.
Oh, I think they cover. I think they win by 28.
It's always really weird to me when quarterbacks start getting their first couple of starts. They usually always surprise teams. Like they don't know how to game plan for it. And that guy's had better stats than I would. I don't even know his name, David something. The guy for Texans.
Yeah, I forgot it.
Yeah, whoever he is. I feel like he's probably bagging groceries or something before this. He probably was my coworker. I don't even. But
which he shouldn't even be in there because once Tyrod Taylor got hurt, they should have put Deshaun Watson in. But
yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, man. Like
he ain't got no disciplinary action yet.
Yeah, I agree.
It's still in the courts, and they waiting on all this stuff to come down. But he hasn't got discipline unless Roger Goodell sent a message to them like, "Don't put him in the game."
Yeah, unless that's happened, because that's a really weird situation. Because obviously, as a business, you want to protect your bottom line, but also, you got other stuff that matters, and teams will, how to, the social outrage with certain things are. You can't fight those things without, facing the backlash, and when they start to affect your bottom line, then you're in trouble. But also being a losing franchise can possibly affect your bottom line. I didn't think he was going to get the nod. I just knew. I mean, not the new guy. I knew Watson was going to get the nod when Taylor went down. I'm just surprised that there hasn't been anything officially said, which I shouldn't probably be. But I just think with things like that, they usually draw a line in the sand, because because the way the times are, you want to be like, hey, no, this isn't going to happen. I mean. But I'm thinking since they didn't cut him, that it's still a possibility for him to play this season, maybe. Because otherwise, if they saying, because I don't know how you could hold somebody's hand back as a commissioner, and then they also still got to pay this guy, and then he, now you also, he got to be. If you're saying he's not playing because he's not good enough, we know that's not true. What are they saying? Like, we don't know to talk a lot. We haven't heard anything. We heard more when he was like trying to get up out of there. Than we have heard since he's had these allegations levied against him. None of which I've heard.
It might be too that they holding them out because of trade. They don't want them to get hurt. I heard the Dolphins were pretty close to pulling the trigger. I don't know if that's still the case, but I heard like 2 weeks ago that the Dolphins were like, all right, we're gonna go and make this trade. And
I ain't hear that. That's good. Yeah.
I heard they was willing to give up some first round picks and stuff like that because they got Tua, but I think they would definitely take Deshaun Watson over Tua. So.
Because Deshaun Watson probably gonna have to sit out for a couple of years, or maybe. But I don't even know if these are they even in. I don't even remember. The situation is so weird to me. I don't remember if it was. I know so at some point they were talking criminal allegations, but I think that went away almost immediately, and it was mostly financial, which is also weird to me. But I also don't want to kind of harp on that legal situation because it's so weird. I just, I hope the victims are properly compensated, if since there's no criminal stuff going on. And yeah, enough of that. But I don't predict that the Cardinals cover a 20-point spread even still today. I feel like 20. I mean, I'm just going in the spirit of everything that I've seen. Every game has been, the big spreads never get covered. Like we've been seeing that, like, you'll look at the thing and like, oh, how are they against the spread? You see this all the time, and it'll be like Cardinals. Well, not per se the Cardinals, but it'll be like this team, Alabama 25. They either struggle to get it, they barely get it, or they don't get it. Yesterday, I think majority of the teams that had college football that had big spreads did not cover. They were barely covered. They were struggling. I kind of blame Tennessee for that, but you see this push. I mean, maybe it's Vegas, maybe it's betting. I know they change the stuff a lot once people start putting money on, and they got to do that to kind of balance it for themselves. But I don't see them winning by 20. I just don't. They because they've struggled. They've had games where they should have won by more. So I think the running game for Tennessee, for Houston Texans, and the quarterback who we don't know much about, I think he'll be able to kind of surprise us a little bit.
Okay.
Rams, Lions. You think they'll cover the spread? You already said that.
Oh yeah, they. I think Sean McVay is gonna pull out all the stops, and he's gonna say, I'm gonna show y'all why I wanted Matt Stafford and I didn't want Jared Goff. So he gonna pull out all the trick play, gonna pull out all the everything, and he gonna try to put 50 up on the Lions today.
You know what's crazy? I mean, I do think they can cover. They should be able to cover, but because it's the Lions, it's the lowly Lions, the cowardly Lions. But I think he should be able to cover because, and also not just because of Matthew Stafford, the defense is pretty good, and I've always never been too fond of Jared Goff, and I think that pressure will get to him, that front seven. But I don't want to even fixate on the score of the game and what I think about that. I just want to talk about, because we hyper-fixate on Tom Brady being old and playing, and he's still, I don't want to make this a Brady hate session, but he's throwing those 10 5-yard dimes, those slant routes. Matthew Stafford still got an arm like a 20-year-old man. That dude be slinging that football. Something serious. I'm like, man, how's this dude arm still so strong?
Right, and he got a nice deep threat. This Sean Jackson talking about old man still getting it in, still getting down the field.
Came back too. Yeah, I'm just like, imagine if when we used to play, because we saw with the Lions when he had Calvin Johnson, but he had nothing else. So just imagine if he had a talent like this then. I mean, just imagine if I think he got at least 4 or 5 years left in him.
Oh yeah,
probably more. And Brady's still playing. If Brady can play the 40, he can play the 40. He's more athletic than Brady.
And him and Cooper Kupp got a nice little connection.
Yeah. Built a connection real quick. I mean, Cooper could probably catch everybody. Cooper. Yeah. You see guys like that often who they just catch everything. Great route runner. They don't really have any mentionables in like athleticism department. But for some reason, they always find themselves open. They always catch the ball. They always throw the ball.
And you gonna catch it when they get open.
And really, that's all that matters. Because you can be the fastest player on the field. We think DK Mitchell should probably average 2-3 touchdowns a game based off his size and athleticism. But sometimes it's those intangibles that you don't really that's not really on the stat sheet, or that you don't see on the actual metrics that matter. And Cooper Kupp got all that shit.
Yeah.
I be like, him and Thielen too. I like Thielen too.
Yeah. Cooper Kupp, he putting up numbers, man. That's his most dependent. Like, all right, if they covering Deshaun down the field, let me look to Cooper. I know he's gonna get open. I know he's gonna catch.
And how's Deshaun Jackson still so fast?
Man.
Hey, his hands. I saw him drop a couple of balls the other day. He was looking like, I saw Stafford underthrow one. I'm like, man, that's uncharacteristic. But I I think that if Deshaun Jackson, get back into the groove of things, this next couple games, it's gonna be real ugly for anybody that's trying to stop them. I mean, I just don't see how you do it. And I don't even know who their running back is, really. I mean, I know his name. I don't.
Sonny
Henderson.
Michelle came back today. He was hurt.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he what is he like? Probable or?
They say he's back today.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'm like Henderson. I'm like, man, they doing this with this guy. We don't even know who he is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think they'll play the game. They at 17, I feel like they cover anything over that. I feel like the starters come out early. I bet one game this dude was averaging like 200 or something, 275, almost 300 yards or something. Just under like I think David Carr had the most. He averaged the most passing yards through like last week. And then one game I was like, okay, yeah, he should easily have this many yards. And they were blowing somebody out so bad that he came out in like the early third quarter.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I guess this is over. So yeah, I do see them playing I do see it being decided early, but it's the Lions, and then it's also not the Lions. It's the Rams playing against their former quarterback. So they probably got a lot of probably no hate there, but I mean like you know all about a player. You watch him play. You known them for years, and then now you get to play against them. So that should be pretty entertaining too. But I was also wondering if this is gonna be one of those games because sometimes you see these players where they get a chance to go back and play play against their old team and then they show out. So, but I mean, but it's still the Lions. So
Yeah.
But
he might want to show up, but he ain't got the guns to pull it off.
Yeah. And even if you do shoot out with them, he definitely defensively they ain't stopping nothing.
Oh no. No.
And that's it. That's it for the games today, I think.
Yeah. That's
you got the Saints on Monday.
Yeah. Late game, the Colts and the 49.
Oh yeah. I mean that's another. I think so with that one. I think that spread is like 3 points.
3?
I think it was 3.
Oh, okay.
But you got Garoppolo coming off injury. Trey Lance is out. He was hurt. They already on their 4th running back, Elijah Mitchell, 3rd or 4th. I think not most. What's the other guy's name from college last year? Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon is back, but I guess they said he's healthy, but we'll see. But Elijah Mitchell was supposed to get the bulk of the carries, and they're supposed to be using the other guys to change the base backs. But I don't really see this game being a good game to watch or even remotely competitive because the Colts suck, and then the 49ers, they had a good pass rush, so they should probably pressure Winston, but win the game by the 3. It should cover the spread. But I just don't see this game as win. The Colts have been a huge letdown this year. I told somebody that I was like, I like Wentz, so I was hoping that he turned things around. But that team was actually the Colts team seemed decent last year. They seemed they were just missing a few parts. So now I think they get Wentz, they get better, but it seems like they got worse. So
this game don't matter in the big scheme because ain't none of them doing nothing to affect no playoff season.
No playoffs. Yeah, it's really not. Yeah. I don't think the Saints game will be, too impactful either. They should win that game because they play against a team without their starting quarterback. So I really don't see. I mean, it is Jameis though, so we'll have to see. He's been hot and cold this season. Their defense has been. They've either looked stellar one day and then like a different team the next. So I guess we'll kind of just see how that pans out. But yeah, pretty much wraps up football week. We picked some division winners in the beginning of the year, and I think that they all come true, except for we switched from Kansas City to Los Angeles. The Cardinals have clearly defined, especially with the Russell Wilson injury, have clearly defined themselves as the favorites to win the NFC West. I mean NFC West, but Yeah, that's pretty much it for football. NFL, it ain't really nothing else going on.
Yeah, we'll revisit division winners in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'd say give it like 2 weeks or so, and then we can kind of gauge, because everybody be like halfway in between the season, and we'll be able to see like how those second games may be, how impactful those may be in terms of the division race and then the playoff race.
Yep.
No Bulls actions tonight on the NBA, so we'll just get to watch the other teams play. What else you got for us, man?
Well, like those Bulls are looking pretty good. It's kind of early, but it seemed like the additions of Lonzo Ball and Caruso and DeRozan have paid off, especially Lonzo and Caruso defensively. They're getting a lot of deflections, steals, blocks. So I'm going to hold off. We got a big test coming up.
Nah, say it.
I'm gonna I want to shout out my boy Lance. I just talked to Lance before we did the podcast. He was telling me, he said, "Yeah, we looking good, but we got some tests coming up. We play Milwaukee, we play Brooklyn, we play the Lakers coming up. So we'll get a good feel of how we really are. We done beat a couple bad teams, beat the Pistons twice. We beat the Pelicans, blew the Pelicans out. Lonzo against his own team had a triple-double. But coming up, we have a pretty good test on, see where we at right now against some better competitions. So I'm going to hold off on. But I will say, I think the Bulls will be a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, would be a top 4 seed, and we'll go from there when we get to playoffs.
Oh, so you said we're gonna make the playoffs?
Yeah, we're gonna be a top 4 seed. Yeah.
Oh, so you making a statement? You said I'm gonna hold off. That's what I was gonna ask you.
No, yeah. I say that I think that's
top 4. That's bold.
Yeah, I think Milwaukee will be number 1. Brooklyn will be up there. We don't know what's going on with Philly and Simmons and all that kind of stuff, but maybe Philly, and we definitely gonna be a top 4 seed. We better than the Knicks. We better than the Knicks. We better than the Hawks. We better than who else is in there in the East? It don't even matter because we better than them.
I think we make the playoffs. I don't know about a 4 seed. I mean, I think Milwaukee. I don't think we're better than Miami right now. I don't think we're better than Boston. I don't think we're better than Brooklyn. And,
we better than Boston. The Bulls are better than Boston right
now. Sorry. Yeah. What did I mean to say, Boston?
I hope not.
I wasn't. I wasn't trying to. I meant to say I was thinking about LA and Phoenix, but I don't know. But my mind when I started talking about it, I only fixated on the Eastern Conference teams. But in the Eastern Conference, because we were talking about seeding, but I started thinking about like LA because we were talking about the upcoming games. But yeah, I think we are not better than Miami right now. I think we are not better than, because they got the chemistry and they definitely got some players, and the players from last year are definitely better than they were the previous year. I think we're going to mid-season we'll be able to gauge and judge that a little bit more based on how they play and then injuries and whatever happens. But Milwaukee is Milwaukee. I think we can get them though, because I feel like if it comes down to it, you got Giannis. And then I think the other players was watching them be so inconsistent over time. I think in the 7-game series, I wouldn't bet against the Bulls. So I mean, I'm interested. It'd be interesting to see. But right now, it's hard to make those statements saying, "Oh, we better than the champions." And then Miami, they just look fucking. They look pretty great right now. We watched them play the Bucks and how that went, and I mean, it was a Bucks without Drew Holiday, but But yeah, regardless, they still look good. I mean, you just Tyler Hero dropping 30 and being the leading scorer, and then you still got all these other guys, Bam, Butler, Duncan Robinson, shoot lights out. They got a pretty good team. They really good, pretty good team down there. So yeah, I'm just interested to see how I play out. I think the Bulls. I'm very optimistic on the Bulls season. Definitely bullish on us making the playoffs. Top 4 seed, possibly the number 4, but I say at least top 5 seed. It sucks to make these statements early, and it's hard because we ain't seen this kind of action from the Bulls in a long time. So it feels weird to be so optimistic.
Oh yeah, shout out to the Bulls front office. They made moves.
They finally got it together.
Guard Paxson, get y'all ass out of there. I'm so glad they gone. We got rid of their mess, almost all of it. Got Larry Markkinen out of there the first year. He looked like he was going to be a perennial all-star. He got worse every year. Finally got rid of him. Good riddance. I hope you do what you do in Cleveland, but bye. So the Bulls front office made some very good moves, and I think they're going to pay off starting this year.
I agree. I think it will, and I'm pretty glad to see them actually do it. Like, we're not used to seeing any of our teams franchise-wise. I used to call them sexy moves. Like, the craziest thing we did was go spend all that money on Julius Peppers as a Bears team. Then we did it again with Khalil Mack. But that's when we first started to see the change in the NFL organization, and now we're finally seeing it in the NBA with our Bulls. So I know we both pretty excited about that because we usually always do all the boring stuff. We get rid of our players, they go somewhere else, and maybe come better. We don't ever go. And I was thinking about the Bears and then them trading up for Trubisky. But we continue to do this, and I see this. It's a sad state in terms of front office management in most Chicago organizations. We just don't do. We need to transcend to the future. We still stuck in the past, and we just make the oldest, most boring moves all the time. So I'm just glad that we finally are. Go ahead.
Bulls made the right move, getting rid of the Paxson and Foreman. That was I couldn't wait for that to happen. So that was pretty good. I applaud the Bulls for that. And I think this just year one of what they're doing, and they done brought in Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, Caruso, Derrick Jones, the guy flyer, drafted Ayo from Illinois. So we're gonna be pretty good. Pretty deep.
I'm already excited about that alone. So just knowing what they are doing already, and we haven't seen any of this kind of action in the last 10 years, even when we was drafted the top. And we may not be so lucky as to get a top pick. So hopefully, if we do have to make any trades to possibly get some early first round action or something. But I mean, nobody I really want to get rid of so far. I'm just looking to the future, and I'm just hoping that something happens that you just can't be stagnant. And now that we actually making action and making move, I want to see something, man. I just need to see. I feel like it's always easy to look at rosters on paper and be like, because I bet you nobody thought Golden State was going to be what they became. I feel like our roster is better than it looks on paper when you see the game results so far. But I'm still looking for that. Everybody wants one of those guys that come in. You want that clear-cut player, like a KD or something like that. I don't know if we'll get that in Chicago, man. We've been struggling to get that kind of action for a while. Really since Jordan. We had Wade, our actual Chicago resident, come down and steal our money. So I'm just hoping that with this new front office, we actually able to compete. It's been a long time since we've been relevant in the NBA. We bet on Derrick Rose, which I was okay with. Chi-Town for life, but the injuries and everything, and then it was just a sad state. So I'm hoping that this is our time now.
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that'll do it for this episode.
Before we go, we got to toast one. We got to toast one to the Bears.
Bears,
and we got this. Oh, it's just I was about to say, man, I'm like a magician. This to the Bears today. Hopefully get this dub, or at least be competitive. Definitely hope we get the dub. And, to the Bulls, and then hopefully to a departure of Nagy for the Bears at the end of this year. I could definitely toast to that.
Toast. So, that'll do it for episode 13. We will see y'all next week for episode 14 with some other topics. Might have a special guest on the show. We're still working on that, but we will keep you guys posted. And until next time, don't forget, sometimes I'm always right.
All right.